Morning, fellow Gooners, and welcome to another Gunner Talk from a beautiful sunny Manchester morning. Absolutely unreal weather again, and today's another big day for England. So nervous, and I know a lot of you have been super excited and think England have been doing really well. I'm not so sure myself, but ever the optimist, I think we'll come through it today. I think it'll be a bit of a battle. I woke up like a shit in the bed this morning, as I'm sure most of you have, up with the old Stella on the cornflakes, and that's how I found myself this morning, sort of making a brew and staring at England, just everything, butter in the toast, na 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 na. Couldn't help myself. I'm sure I'll be like that till mid-afternoon, but anyway, let's talk about yesterday. The little man. I'm bored of saying his name, but I'm not really. I'm loving him. Torreira. We're going to keep talking about him. I said to a few of you yesterday, you know, I've kind of let it slide by me that it was him versus Kante and Pogba and the rest of them yesterday. Going toe to toe there with the best CDM in world football, in my opinion. In that just out and out role. Yeah, sink or swim time really yesterday. Let's see what if this kid can cut it right against the best. And he passed it with flying colours, in my opinion. Another one again. The fun went out of the game for me when I realised Cavani was missing, and I thought it'd be all France, and it'd just be a case of when they'd break him down. But yeah, so it gave me an opportunity really to spend more time just watching Torreira. And yeah, this kid's got it all. He's just so impressed with him. I was getting a little bit arsey yesterday with people saying, "Oh, I hope Uruguay lose so we can announce him faster." That bugs me. I'd rather have a World Cup winner turning up 3 weeks later or 2 weeks later or whatever. So I poo-poo that idea really. I was happy to just keep watching him play for Uruguay on the fact that it's a done deal anyway. So yeah, it's sad that his World Cup's come to an end. Obviously now I think in the next week we'll hear that he'll be announced as an Arsenal player and we'll see him in that red and white. And it's the first time in ages I'm sort of thinking of getting a guy's name on a kit. I've not bought a kit in ages because I can't stand Puma, but I might have to be repping this guy because I just love everything he's about. He's my type of player. He's passing, his range of passing, short passes, long passes, spraying the ball around. Just those quick ones when someone's about to take you out or on your toes. He's really quick at reading the game when he comes to his passing. He spots the danger a mile away, so he's always sort of ready for that first pass without having to take a touch. He's ready to play the ball on. As I mentioned a week or so ago, his spatial awareness is brilliant. He always seems to know where to be at the right time. And he's not afraid to stick it to anybody. Not at all. He doesn't seem like reputations bother to this guy. It's just, you're the guy in front of me and I don't give a toot who you are. You're getting rolled by me. Yeah, and I love that about him. He's super calm as well, which I noticed. He's unflappable. For a player of his type, you'd expect, especially at his age at only 22, you'd expected quite a few bookings to come his way, but I noticed yesterday the ref let 2 or 3 that he did slide, and I think that's because of his style of play. He's not a dirty player, although he is a dirty player, if you know what I mean. He does all the dirty things, but he does them brilliantly well, and it goes under the radar, and he gets away with it with refs when he does get it wrong. So I love that. Another thing I really noticed yesterday, which I loved about him, was the whole Mbappe situation when that kicked off. You know, the entire Uruguay team, they were losing their heads a bit and they all went charging over, all surrounding the referee, mithering him. Now I was looking at that going, where's Torreira? Is he in there getting pushed about, getting involved? No, he was stood miles away having a tete-a-tete with Godin, and they were having a little private chat where it looked like Godin was giving him instructions, and I love that. He was sort of in the heat of the battle, he was off getting more commands from his leader-in-chief. So that was another thing that I loved seeing about him yesterday. And just, his all-round general play, his timing in a tackle, his timing a passing, his movement, his spatial, all of it. I said it weeks ago and still say it now. In my opinion, he's a gooner, and the amount we've paid for him was at least half of what we should have done from what I'd seen previously last year. So so excited by this guy. Exactly what we need, and he's going to make a big difference to the team. On that sort of front, the Ornstein tweet yesterday, like I say, I like the guy and I've got time for him. Love the memes whenever he tweets anything. It's one of the best things the internet's ever given me. But he is just a mouthpiece for Arsenal, and he is told what to say. So when he came out yesterday saying Torreira's pretty much a done deal, but that looks like it's pretty much it unless we sort of bring in a young player. Well, he's not going to come out once again and say, against the club's wishes, well, we're trying to sign Ronaldo and Messi. He can't do that. He has to do as he's told. So, for me, I still think there's maybe one or two to come in. And I'd like that young player to be a winger straight off the bat. Yeah, that would be my preference. And then I think we'd be fairly good to go. If the money is tight, which I don't believe, but if it is, then I think that'd be pretty much it, and then maybe a couple more out. But I don't think there's a ton left to do. But I could see it going either way. I could see nothing happening now, and I could see quite a lot happening now. I could see still a couple going out, which I think will definitely happen. And then I'm not sure on how much will come in. Possibly one, possibly two. I can't see there being three coming in the door, but I wouldn't be shocked if no more came in the door. So that's all up in the air at the minute, and I wouldn't bite at every tweet the guy sends. So when he says, oh, we might not bring anyone else in, don't just instantly go, right, well, that's it, end of the window, because I don't think that's the case. So I'd keep a little bit of faith in that one. World Cup, I popped a couple of predictions up yesterday. I thought the games would be pretty tricky. I said France 1-0. It should have been 1-0. It ended up 2-0. So that was a bit unlucky with that absolute horror from Muslera, from Griezmann. Decent game. France, I think they're the best team in it. They just needed to click a bit better, and they've looked like they're starting to do that. I have them a little bit above everybody else, but I think it'll be a real thorough test against Belgium. I think that's very sort of 55-45 just in favour of France, in my opinion, but that's a real tricky game, and should be an absolute belting semi-final. Lloris did what he needed to do well yesterday, their back line. Pavard, another one, I know a lot of you like. He's been playing at right back. I wasn't impressed with him in the first game. It was just he's a centre back playing in the wrong position, but obviously he scored that wonder goal, which will probably be goal of the tournament. It should be, in my opinion. But yeah, he's sort of played himself into that right back role. He's looked way more comfortable, so I've been impressed with him. I like what I see, especially if he is a centre back and not a right back. What I've seen from him at right back, he looks pretty impressive. Centre of the park, Kante again, awesome. You just can't help but love this guy, can you? He's just that type of bloke. He's just got that aura about him. You just want to love him. So yeah, nothing but good things to say about him. Pogba again, I thought played pretty decent. I think he's been good in this tournament overall. I think he's gone under the radar a bit. Griezmann for me has done nothing in this tournament. He's looked really disappointing for, when you're looking at them young lads he's up against in that team. You sort of Dembele's, your Fekir, your Mbappe, whatever we're calling him. I think he's looked really underwhelming compared to these guys, and I'd much rather have a lot of them over him if I had a choice of picking one, if it was like FIFA or Champ Manager. So yeah, he's been underwhelming. Giroud, I think's worked hard, but it's just not happening for him. He's doing a lot of dirty work but getting no real credit. And Mbappe, he's playing out of his skin. It's so exciting when he picks the ball up, because you can see he's got that sort of old school Ronaldo, and as I've said, he just screams orny to me, where he can just ghost 2 or 3 players with a quick warp of the turbo. He's just gone, isn't he? So yeah, he's nothing but exciting. So yeah, I was fairly impressed with France. Uruguay, I said they'd struggle without Cavani, and I think that'd make the difference, and it did. They didn't offer anywhere near as much of a threat going forward, although they did have a few little glimpses. It was a pretty dull game, to be honest, but it's exciting because it's a chance for somebody to get in a World Cup semi-final. As I've said, Torreira, awesome again. Yeah, so excited for him. But let's try and not talk about him constantly. Belgium-Brazil, much better game. I said 2-1 Belgium, it ended up 2-1 Belgium. I thought they'd have enough shithousery to get to Brazil and just bully them, basically, just out-muscle them and make it look like under-16s versus primary school team, which it did a bit. Brazil for me weren't anywhere as exciting as people have been making out. beating nobodies, you know, and it's not doing it that convincingly. So I wasn't shocked they got their asses handed to him yesterday. Neymar's I'm sick of him embarrassing himself. What a top player he is, and just there's no need for it. I don't know why he does it. Don't know what goes through his head. And I can definitely see him now hitting the door, going elsewhere. In the rest of that Brazil team, who stood out for me, really? No one, to be honest. They were much of a muchness. I can't even be asked to talk about them, to be honest. Let's talk about today at the World Cup. England, 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 na na. England, 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 na na. England. England versus Sweden. I don't want to be the Debbie Downer because I'm so excited. I can't believe, this is getting on for the furthest most of us in our lifetimes have seen England get. And I think we can keep it going today. I think it's going to be a scruffy, scrappy game, that. A goal either way, I think. And I think England are really going to struggle unless we change that formation. That two up front I don't think works. I think we've got to play a three up front with Kane down the middle and Sterling and Rashford and Lingard, two of those three out wide of him. And let's get him some proper supply because he's feeding on scraps at the minute and he's proving it in the way he's getting his goals. He is top scorer, but can you really give him... obviously some goals you've got to be in the right place at the right time and you've got to give him credit for that, but they've not been exciting goals, have they? They're just doing the stuff you expect a striker to do. So there's more to come from this team. It's just whether big nose Gareth sorts it out and gets a little bit more ballsy, in my opinion. So I think it's going to be a tricky one. I'm hoping England beat them 20-0, but I'm not so sure that's going to happen. Hope it does, but I think England 1-0. Wouldn't be shocked if we got turned over 1-0 though. So I'm going to say under 2.5 goals or under 2.5 and both teams not to score if you want to get a little bit crazy. The other game, Croatia-Russia, I can see that being a real war of attrition, to be honest. Croatia are the better side, but Russia are going to have that the home nation, the whole entire home nation cheering them on. And that's going to be a bit of a leveller in my opinion, and I think it's going to go very much the same way. It won't shock me if Russia won 1-0, but I think Croatia probably will just do it, and I think they'll take it 1-0. So I think I'll go the same again. I think I'll say I'm struggling to pick a result, so under 2.5 and under 2.5 and both teams not to score if you want to get a little bit brave again. They'd be my shouts for today. Come on England! 3 lines on a shirt just remain still gleaming. Come on boys, let's do this today and get them meatball munching flat packers done away with. Let's do this. Come on England!